Flosstube and welcome to Punky's Place. My name is Heather. I go by Punky Purls on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry. So it's been about a month since I last recorded. I felt like I wasn't ready to record at the end of February. I didn't have what I felt like a whole lot to show you. I did have an FFO, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. And now that it's been a month, I have a lot to show you. First, I want to thank my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining us. And also to my returning subscribers, thanks for coming back and hanging out with me for a few minutes. This video will probably be a little bit longer, and I think there is going to be a knitting project that I'm going to talk about as well, but we'll just get on with it. So a lot has been going on at my house. My daughter went back to school. Here in the state of Washington, we've been on quarantine for a while, and they just started doing a hybrid class. So she gets to go to school every 2 weeks, and that kind of messes up my schedule as well, because that means I have to start going back to work more often. So that means less stitching time and more commute time. So I didn't feel like I had a lot to show you at the end of February, because I was getting back in the swing of things of going back to work every other day, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot, but I'm gonna miss teleworking. I like working my jammies. But so that happened. My boys are still doing online school. They both don't really care to go back, but my daughter was really excited to go back. My husband we've been going through the whole process of trying to get back into the Army, so that finally happened. He will be going back next week, and so we're preparing for him to be gone for a while. So just a lot of stuff has been happening at this house. I know I don't normally talk about everything that's going on in our house, but I figured, hey, why not? You might be interested. If not, sorry, I wasted your time. But anyways, I do have quite a bit to show you today. I am participating in Steel City Stitcher's March Stitchy Madness, so I do have a lot of WIPS to show. Before I talk about that though, I'm going to talk about what I did in February. So I did have one a fully finished object, and that was a Valentine's gift for my husband. I don't have it here because he actually took it with him to his office. But it is the I Love You from Hands On Design, and I gave it to him with his card and asked him how he wanted it finished. He said he wanted a wall hanging for his office, so I made that. His only stipulation was that he didn't want any bows, which I was kind of sad about because I love making bows, but you know, it has to be manly because he's a man, I guess. I don't know. I would want a bow, but anyways, that's just me. And then I did do some knitting, and I finished a pair of socks. So I'll show those first, since those were both in February. I'll put the details down in the bottom because I'm not quite sure what yarn it was, and I have talked about these before, but I do have a pair of socks. They're on my sock blockers that my dad and I made. That is my skinny little leg. Too bad everything wasn't that skinny, right? Anyways, this is the embossed sleeve pattern. It is an eyelet lace pattern. You can see, I don't know if you can see really well, but there's a leaf pattern there. I did do some modifications to the pattern. I stitch from the toe up, and I do a short row fish lips kiss heel, which if you've never tried it before, it is my absolute favorite. I hate picking up stitches. It's one of my least favorite things to do about knitting is picking up stitches. They never look nice and neat. And regular short rows, I always get a gap or a hole. It's really hard for me to not get that. But the fish lips kiss heels, I'll show you up close. There's no hole, and they fit perfectly. So that was my February working. So now to March Madness, because there's a lot to show you. I did do some other stitching in February, so I guess before I show you the March Madness stuff, I should show you what I did stitch in February, but it wasn't a whole lot. One of the first things I worked on was my shades of gold. there went the spool of thread. And here's my shades of gold. It doesn't look a whole lot different, actually. It goes this way. I got the rest of this section put in, and I started doing this section and this part right here. So there's a lot of little stitches in that, but I didn't stitch on it for very long because the Modern Folk Embroidery SAL and the Christmas Wreath SAL and Made to Create SAL all came out around the same time, so I put this one away and picked up those. So speaking of those, I'll show you the Christmas wreath. I got a little bit put in on here. Oh, that Shades of Gold is stitched on 40 count Newcastle Anthracite, Zweigart fabric with 12 weight sulky thread and ecru, if that was what fell on the ground. So that needs to go back in that bag, but that's what I'm stitching that one with. This one is the kit, the called for colors. I had to rip out because I was off a little bit down here. So I ended up ripping all this part out. I put it all back in correctly because it was off by a little bit. And then I started putting a little bit of the ornament in. But because of March Madness, I haven't finished the section, and I need to do that before the next section comes out. Because I know me and stitch alongs, if I don't keep up with it, it's going to be like my animal almanac, and I'm going to stop in June and not finish. So there's that one. The other stitch along that got released was the Made to Create SAL by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And the night that it came out, because we get it at nighttime. It was after work one day. So I put in, that's a loose thread, I put in the scissors, a button, and I started working on the ball of yarn here. I love how this is coming out. So far, this is all my crafty goodness that I love. So it's right up my alley. It is stitched on 32 count petit points linen in a natural color, neutral color, with sulky threads. And what I ended up doing was pulling threads that matched the pattern for the most part, and also would coordinate with, I didn't stitch on this one yet, or lately, but so she did. So I want them to be on my wall and kind of match. So that's why they're in the same bag, because they're using the same floss. Modern Folk Embroidery, the Stitch Along, the Fruit of Plenty. This one's coming along. This is so fun to stitch on. Here's everything I have so far. And part 3 came out. So I got a good chunk of that periwinkle color in. But once March happened, it got put away because I had the other WIPS to stitch on. If you hear barking, that's Teddy. He's outside. He wants to come back in. But I'm not letting him in because I'm recording and nobody's home to babysit him. So there's that. Alright, now to Stitching Madness. One of the first things I stitched on was a start that I had in February. And it was the Be Mine by Stitching with the Housewives. Pause the recording because my daughter came home from the bus. But anyways, Be Mine from Stitching with the Housewives. It is stitched on 28 count linen that I dyed with evening blue and then coffee tea dyed it. And it is stitched with 12 weight sulky threads. So like I said, I started this one back in February, but had it as part of my March Madness. So I've been working on that, or I worked on that for a day. And it went up against another Stitching with the Housewives pattern. Rudolph and Mr. Claus. And what I ended up having to do is ripping out part of this leg. This leg, because it was off by one. So I ripped it out, fixed the polka dots, put it back in, and then started stitching across this way. But between the two, Be Mine won, so that one is actually going to be my stitch for the day, and it will go up against what won the next bracket. So there's that one. The next thing that was up was Tequila by Stitchrovia, and this is a gift for my sister. And I got in the aqua color by the lime, the little aqua swirls at the bottom, and the L and the I. Most of the L, most of the I, and part of the L. So that one. This one's a fun stitch, but there's so much green I get tired of it, so I had to bounce around. That's why it looks crazy. And that went up, and that's stitched on 28 count. Hold on, let me see. I have notes on it. That one is stitched. Shoot, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I know it's 28 count Lugana. I know that, but I don't know the color. And then it went up against Beelieve, which is a free pattern. And this is what I have on that. I'm going to do the big-ish. It's going to be, I'll put a picture of what it's going to look like. But I got the berries in, and it says Beelieve with B-E-E, leave. And this is stitched on a scrap of 32 count petty point in gray, which now I think I'm out of. And because I love polka dots, I'm going to have to order some more. But the Beelieve is a freebie. I think it's the pincushion one. Yeah, it's the pincushion one. It's a sewing set by, so I'm doing that one right there. And it's from Heart's Case Exemplar Works. So many cute ones in there. So that is that one. Tequila actually won out against the Beelieve, so that one moves on, and it will go up against the Be Mine. Put those together since they have to go against each other. The next day was Midnight Way by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And here is how far I am. And here is what I stitched. So I got, oh, this is hard. Let me get on board. All right, that's better. So what I ended up getting in was the cat, the bat, the fish, and the bat down here. Yeah, so that one went up against another pattern, another free pattern. It's a spring pattern called Uno Piccolo Pascal by Core Batecore. But we had a disqualification on that one. I'm saying it's disqualified because unsportsmanlike conduct. I had to frog that thing because I don't know how to count. I'll show you. It's also stitched on a scrap of the 32 count in gray petty point. I got the house in, and the house is one stitch too narrow. So when I went to go do the top of the house, it wasn't going to be centered, and that was going to drive me crazy. So you can see I started picking it out, but I just got mad at it and threw it back in the bag. Now everybody's coming in. Watch. I bet you my son will come in. They're so loud. So that one got disqualified. So Midnight Way wins by default. And then we had American Eagle by Blackbird Designs go up against Roses by Stitches Through the Years. So here is my progress on American Eagle, and this one is up today to vote on. And I got in all the red for the flag, part of the wing, part of the body, and part of the white, which is hard to see on camera. It's actually kind of hard to see in real life too, but that one went up against Roses by Stitches Through the Years. And I forgot to say, American Eagle is stitched on a 28 count natural linen that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, which is the Weigart, but I don't know if it was Cashel. I guess it would be, but it's 28 count and it's with the call for flosses. This one is coming out, I don't know if you can see, coming out really nicely. Don't mind that blue dot is where I mark it with the water soluble marker to know where to start. But this one is stitched on a 28 count piece of Monaco that I dyed with cherry red, I want to say, and evening blue, and it came out this marbly purple. And if you go to Stitches Through the Years and get the free pattern, it's actually on a purple fabric, which is really nice, and it is stitched with the called for DMC. So those two are up on Instagram right now. If you want to, you can go and vote and see what goes through. I'm really curious to see because it's been bouncing back and forth, which is kind of nice. All right, so that is my WIPS. That went a lot faster than I thought it would be. I did start another project, and of course it's another stitch along with Fat Quarter Shop. It is the Bonnie and Camille, let me get my book, the Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee book, and I took my book to the UPS store and had them cut it and spiralize it for me. Normally I don't have a problem with them doing that, but this time they jacked it up, so be careful. I might have them take it back and recut it because part of it doesn't have the glue taken off, but it's a little annoying. But it makes it easier to flip it around, and this is what the cross stitch pattern will look like. It will look like the quilt. And this week is this section is due, and you can see that one's red, but I changed it to orange. I am stitching this on 25 count Lugana 1/1 with the Cosmo floss, one thread. But when I was stitching this one, like I said, this was supposed to be red, but I felt like it just needed something different. I love when all my goodies match. All the floss matches. I never really stitch in a hoop, but because this is 1/1, I kind of had to. And then my little elastic straps match too. So it kind of makes me happy that it all coordinates. I don't know. I'm weird. It is stitched with, like I said, the called for Cosmo thread. And I made the lengths really short because I discovered that if they are too long on 25 count, I don't know if it's the floss or if it's just me or I don't know, but they kind of tend to tangle in shreds, so I cut them shorter. But I love those colors. Those are my favorite colors. Bonnie and Camille are my favorite designers, so anything they do, they always have these colors, and it just, ugh, so I love it. I love it, I love it. So that is that. Alright, I think that's all my stitching for the day. I have been making, I made quite a few masks. Like I said, my daughter went back to school, so she needed masks. And then I made her a little mask pouch to hang on her bag. So I'll probably make some more of those and put them in the shop. But I did get some haul. Like I said, because I haven't been recording for a month, I actually have a haul to show you. And the first thing I got, and it's my very first Nora Corbett, is this. I went on to Be Stitch Me, and they had the pattern and the beads. This will be the first time I use beads too. I'm excited to start this one. Maybe next month. Maybe it'll be an anniversary start. That'd be nice. Since my husband won't be here, I can celebrate my anniversary cross stitching, right? But anyways, so I got that and the pattern, and this is really crinkly. And some fabric. 32 count Lugana in, it doesn't say what color, but look at that. I'm hoping that the witch won't take up the whole thing because this fabric is so pretty. I guess it says color 494. I don't know what color that means. I think there was a name, but it's not on the receipt either. I don't know. So that I got from Bestitch Me. And if you follow Sambry Stitches on YouTube and Instagram, she has a discount code for Bestitch Me. So I used that to get my, I think it was 15%, which is generous. It's a one-time use code. So I made sure I utilized it to get everything I wanted for that pattern. Now I just need to go get the floss. I bet you I have the floss, but I will look and see. Anyways, I'm excited to start that one. And I was watching Elizabeth Ann from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, and she started her first Nora Corbett, or what are the fancy lady? Mirabilia, that's her name. She started her first Mirabilia, and after watching her video, my nose is itchy. After watching her video, it made me decide I wanted to do it, but I don't want to do a huge lady yet because I'm afraid I'll jack it up. So I figured a little one with a little bit of beading, and I don't think there's any Kreinik or anything. Yeah, it's just DMC, so I don't think I'll have any problems with that. But I need to probably put it on my little scroll frame and get that going pretty soon. And then I got some fabric from 123 Stitch. So I got some 32 count Sprite Lugana fabric, a 12 by 17 piece. And this one was on sale, so I got it. I figured an Easter small would be perfect on it. I'm trying to see. It's like a pinky, purpley, springy color. I got some 32 count Belfast linen, 18 by 27 cut in black. So I got a big chunk because I want to do the Talk series, I think they are, with that. I also picked up some 37 count Russian tea cake legacy linen, which I've never stitched on 37 count before, but I figured it was a nice neutral, good to have in the stash. And I got a big piece of that one, 18 by 35, so I should have plenty to play with. And last but not least, I got some 30 count Parisian gray legacy linen, and it's just a nice taupey gray color. So I picked those up. That is my haul. I don't think I picked up any other patterns. I don't think I did. There are some free patterns, and I'll put those down in the description box, but one of them, where's my phone? Let me see. There's two free patterns from Soda Stitch that are Easter colors. Maybe that Easter patterns, I think that would work really cute on this. And I'll post those here. I think you have to be a Facebook friend of hers. But they are so cute. And I think that is it. Plans for this month I don't know if I'm going to come back in 2 weeks and have a video for you guys. It just depends. I know I'll have plenty of stitching because I have March Madness going on and a lot of the sales going on. But with everything going on at our house and trying to get ready for my husband to go, I should probably spend a little bit of time with him and less time stitching. So I think that's what I'll be doing. But after he leaves, I'll be stitching up a storm because he won't be here. That's the plan, at least. Yeah, so anyways, I will be back maybe in 2 weeks, but definitely sometime after that. I also have a giveaway. This is my 10th video, which is kind of exciting. I don't have a lot of followers here on Flosstube, but I did reach a milestone of over 500 stitches, or over 500 followers on Instagram. So as a celebration and a yay, I want to do a giveaway for my Etsy shop. So if you've watched me before, I do sell bags, and right now I think there's 4 or 5 cross-stitching bags and 2 clutches that are in the shop. But I want to offer one of those, whatever one you want, in the shop as a giveaway. And the giveaway question for everybody is, what do you like about Flosstube? Like, what do you like to see? Typically my videos are really short and I just show what I've been working on, but when you watch a Flosstuber, do you like to hear about life? Do you like to just hear cross stitch? Do you like to see other crafty things? I mean, my channel will probably always be other crafty things because I don't just cross stitch, and that's not my first like crafty love. But like, what do you enjoy watching and listening to when you're watching a Flosstube? If you can answer that question in the bottom comments, I would appreciate that. I look forward to seeing what you guys put. Also, you have to be a subscriber on my YouTube channel, or I mean, I would like you to be definitely on the YouTube channel. I am going to be posting this over on my Instagram as well, so hopefully that gets a little bit more of the following. You have to be over 18 so I can ship it to you, and it could be anywhere in the world. I'll ship it anywhere. Typically, my bags for my Etsy shop, I have free shipping for the United States, but I figure with the giveaway, I'll open it up to everybody. I won't restrict it. So I'm excited. I have my first giveaway, and I hope we get a lot of people liking and subscribing and all the fun things, trying to get the number up a little bit. I know it's probably like a shameless plug, but giveaways are always fun. Don't put giveaway in your comment, and also, like I said, be a subscriber and like and comment and all that fun stuff. But other than that, I hope everybody has a great, if you're participating in Stitchy Madness, a great rest of the time stitching this month, and I hope to see you in a couple weeks. Happy stitching!